Thank you so much for joining me here at the Crossing Point, where we expand human capacity beyond survival into conscious creation. I'm here with Nurcan Pinar, and we're doing our Crossing Point interview. Thanks so much for
For having me.
joining me. I'll just start with our first question, Nurcan. Tell me about yourself and what you're focused on these days.
Thank you for having me. I'm an energetic healer. I work with the Akashic Records, the Compassion Key tool, and quantum healing, shamanic healing. These are my tools. And my original dream was actually to become a filmmaker, to inspire people, to widen their view, to expand their awareness. But since I learned that the film industry is more about profit and not creativity, I'm more and more leaning into um, these healing tools and teachings and having these psychic abilities, sensing spirits. And it was a very dark time when I didn't know how to really work and navigate with my abilities. And since I'm doing the inner work, I also want to help other people.
Lovely.
What I'm focusing right now is on myself mainly because a lot of releasing, a lot of self work, and yeah.
Right on. Thanks so much. Uh, where things haven't been working in your life is what we want to discuss now. Tell us a little bit about where things were not working for you. What did that look like day to day?
During the COVID lockdown, I also lost my father that time. And the hardest thing was feeling powerless, feeling um, feeling like a victim of your circumstances. And it was really hard. And that was like rock bottom in a way. And I had to remind myself and build myself up and be like, hey, we are all divine beings, you know, and we are not victim of our circumstances. And um, a major um, a major motivation and a good teacher for me was Joey Dispenza in this time. His way of meditating was huge for me and helped me through very dark times.
Gotcha. And I'm sorry about your father. So just continue to explore, the survival aspect of life, what that looks like, how people know if they're in survival or conscious creation, what those experiences are like. Was there a moment when it really broke down?
Like I said, in the COVID time, I had a situation with my health. No doctor could help me. And so I needed to help myself. So I day to day had, you know, motivated me and were consistent in meditation. I would daily be in the void and just, I would say, create. Uh, when I first started, I was like not really knowing what I was doing, but I was consistent, and that helped me to more and more understand um, that I do have the power to change my circumstances. And um, yeah, I think consistency helped me, and meditating daily and focusing on that what I want and not what I don't want. And like directing your energy towards things that I do want. And yeah, that was really empowering. because it didn't take much time and I would see results.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like you're already into our next question about early change. And I heard what you said about meditation and choosing what you do want, and that makes sense to me. And for the sake of the conversation, I'll just ask you what did you notice early that started to change, and what did you begin doing differently?
I was obsessively listening to motivating people, people who were holding speeches, giving interviews, about empowering yourself, about calling back your power to yourself, and really going within to empower yourself. And it was basically rewiring my brain.
And when did you realize it was actually going to change, that
Okay.
you weren't going to stay in that place? What was different in that moment?
Um, what was different, I could see external changes also with which came with the shift that I was feeling. The more I was kind of like, let's say, leaning into the light, the more things in the external proved me that um, that I made the shift, that I changed something in my energy, and that reflected in the outside. Like all of the sudden, I could find holistic healers who were helping me through my illness that I was experiencing. And where I thought nobody can help me, all of the sudden the solutions came to me. And that was just only doing the inner work. And if somebody in the like 10 years ago would have told me, oh, you just have to change your energy, you have to go inwards, I would still say, but my outer circumstances are not changing. Like it's not magic. Like life is not magic. You cannot just change it by manifesting or just meditating, right? But now I do understand that I do create my reality, and that changed everything. And yeah, and the most important thing was to empower myself and to believe in myself. And yeah,
So moving on, what can you do now
Mhm.
consistently that you couldn't do before?
um, what can I do consistently now is really to believe in myself more and believe in my power to create. And every time I have a bad day or have a situation where I kind of fall back into this, oh my God, what is happening? I can now just sit down, collect myself, and kind of like rewrite the situation for myself and be like, okay, what's the learning lesson here? You know, what can I get out of this situation for myself? And because I do believe we live to learn, we live to expand, we live to experience, and sometimes, yeah, unpleasant things happen, but there's also a blessing because there's a learning that you can gain for yourself, a wisdom, something that expands your views, your awareness. And yeah, that's what I'm good at, I think now. Yeah.
Now we're looking at the impact across life. How did gaining this capacity, moving past the darkness of survival, how did it affect different areas of your life, as in relationships, work, health, leadership, the other pillars of of human experience?
Well, when it comes to relationships, and I don't mean I don't. mean not only like romantic relationships, also friendships or connections in the work area or in with siblings. I would always have in love life, I would attract narcissists. Yeah, I would also have bullies on my working place, and it was really tough. You feel so alone, and it kind of like, yeah, makes you hate yourself in a way because there's no like um positive source in your environment. And then if you are in such a toxic situation in your relationships, of course you doubt yourself. You don't love yourself because everybody is kind of like reflecting that you're not worth it in a way. But I had to learn that's also something that I created within myself, that um, the lack of self-love. Um, I was ignored by my parents since I was a little child. I was, a very cute toddler. I see pictures of me, video recordings of me, and but I also saw how I was ignored, and that can leave something like scars or a feeling of maybe I'm not worthy, right? And but I had to learn it had nothing to do with me. It was just they couldn't give me what I needed to nurture in a healthy way or grow up in a healthy way.
Gotcha.
Did I go off track again?
No, you're doing great. No, everything's fine. And now let's talk a little bit about uh, other humans and the difference we can make for them from the standpoint of like people who are in survival, versus moving through the crossing point. Where do you find that people get stuck? What are they avoiding that keeps them stuck?
um, I think people get stuck when they um, see that things are not working in their life, but they're not changing their habits, their point of view, mm, their attitude, their energy. And I believe if you don't change your energy, or how you go about things, then you will have to be stuck because it makes no sense making the same moves, staying the same, and expecting same different results, And like I said before, I think people they more likely wait for something from the outside to happen instead of making things happen themselves, changing habits, changing their energy, and really doing the inner work. Um, but they keep procrastinating and waiting for something else from the outside to come and rescue or give the solution. And then they get mad at the world. But the thing is, I believe every human being is a divine creator, and you experience what you create. As hard as it sounds, I mean, I should put a trigger warning here because I mean there are people who are experiencing horrible things, but yeah, I think we still have all the power, but we are not aware of it, and we need awareness and how we go through life with which energy and yeah.
Totally fair. But it can be hard to for people to integrate that knowledge or to be present to it, especially if they're in survival. When I'm in survival, I don't want to hear about how it's my fault. Not that's not what you said. And I can hear that some people might hear it that way. And that's not what you meant to what we said. I get that.
Absolutely. Yes, that's why I said I should put a trigger warning here because of course, you cannot someone who experienced horrific things, you cannot be like, hey, you created that, right? But there are also like other things as an energy healer. I believe in past life. I believe in that we decide what we want to learn, what we want to experience. There are other factors that come to play, and yeah, of course, no victim blaming here. Yeah,
Yeah, I totally acknowledge that. In many ways, we're a product of our environment, right? Like I didn't create me. I was created by something. My parents came from somewhere, and a lot of that energy, that
mhm.
whatever we want to call it, genetics, whatever is coming. I'm created from something, and then I have to deal with what I got given to start with, and then take responsibility as much as I can for my life. So if I want to leave survival and be in conscious creation. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'd love to hear kind of an
Yeah.
overview for you about what actually works, what makes a difference for people who are maybe facing or dealing with survival and want to experience a journey into the ability to create consciously.
I believe if you want to improve your situation, if you want to get out of the darkness, then you have to know where you want to go. What do you want to experience? What do you like? The intention that you set in your everyday is important. And it could be some practical tools that you can use, like sit down with pen and paper and write down like what do you want to experience, what do you don't want to experience anymore, and be just aware what do you really want from the heart. And I think then from the heart it is much easier to create if you have a certain goal, a certain desire. And from there I think that's the way out of the darkness that people may face if they have a clear vision and like, okay, I want to experience like this, and I want to create this. If they have a clear knowing, I think most people they are on autopilot and they don't really know what they want because they are so used to all these, I go to school, then I learn something, and then I go into this 9 to 5 job because that's what's normal, that's what's expected from me, have a job, get married, get a pet, maybe, And some people, I believe, don't really question if they really want that or not, right? And I think, yeah, people need to be aware what they actually really want and what they desire, what makes them happy, what makes you excited. Um, I think people need to explore themselves more, be aware more. What's their power? What's their passion? And then go from there. A path is opening for you if you already have an idea where do you want to go. I mean, if you visit someone, you have an address, right? You're not just going out and be like, I'm just gonna ring on every door until I find my friend. You have an address, and then okay, then I can the path to go to find yeah, my destination.
Yeah, I get that. Like knowing what you want and then moving towards what you want versus how I was like in the past, where I would like have no idea what I wanted. And I might move away from what I didn't want, but often sometimes I was moving towards what I didn't want, not intentionally. It was not conscious creation. Gotcha. Well,
Mm,
thank you so much for your time and
yeah, yeah,
your attention to these questions. Is
totally.
there anything
Yeah.
else you want to say for our audience in their journey from survival to conscious creation? Any other final words?
I want to tell every single human being that you are divine source, you are the creator of your life. You are much more powerful than you think. And but you have to be aware and you have to give yourself the chance and the love and the nurturing to really live your fullest potential and your fullest power. Thank you.
Right on. Well, thank you so much, Nurcan. This has been the Crossing Point. We're in the pillar of inner growth, and appreciate your perspective and your support to our audience to explore the possibility of transformation of human capacity expanding from survival to conscious creation.